Pisces, welcome to your March 2017 General Tarot reading. It's Raina here, and happy birthday to those of you who are born in March. And I'll throw in even those born in February for those watching in the month of February. And so you're coming off of a solar eclipse, a very powerful new moon in your sign on February 26th, and your solar return is happening, so you should be feeling really good right about now. And what else is happening? Well, you're going to have a new moon at the end of the month, and that's going to be on March 27th. And that's going to be in the sign of Aries, so that's your second house of earned income. So that can be really good for money matters. And oh yeah, and I should say, mid-month there's going to be a full moon on the 12th exactly in Virgo, your opposite sign. So that'll be your seventh house of committed partnerships. So full moons, endings, revelations, maybe committing to something even more so because you realize that it's important to you. I mean, in some cases, people may be thinking of leaving a partner, and, it dawns on them that they really do love this person. And so you may find out something about your spouse. Okay, I'm just cutting these cards. Doing a slightly different spread this time. But remember that this is a general reading. This is not a love reading. So I was just telling you things that are the full new moons. They just happen to be. Oh, trying to get these not to be so. Okay, that Six of Cups shown up again. And I'm thinking that Six of Cups is like a twin flame situation, since I keep getting it. Because that is definitely one of the possibilities. Okay, so at the heart of the matter is the issue at hand in March is the issue of judgment. And this is not one of those light and fluffy cards. This is one of the last cards of the major arcana. So it's really kind of a culmination of things. It's almost like, it is like the chicken's coming home to roost, if you know that expression. But anything to do with cause and effect. Something coming to a head. That's what I'm saying around the time of that full moon. It may be relationship related. But also the seventh house, by the way, is partnerships. So it could be things related to work. But, if you feel like you've been treated unfairly or there's been some kind of deprivation, then you can feel that the scales will be righted, even though this isn't the Justice card. There is still this idea or concept of karma connected to the Judgment card. And so it can be like almost a rebirth for some of you, where you feel like you're going to be renewed, and it's a freeing kind of a sensation, because we have in the recent past a card of that deprivation that I was talking about, or that restriction. The Five of Pentacles can be, I think it's, to me, even though it's Pentacles, I think it's more of a self-esteem issue with you, where you did not have the self-esteem. And you didn't, but it, the reason you didn't have it was because you didn't even know that you deserved it to begin with. The Five of Pentacles specifically deals with poverty consciousness or actual lack. It could indicate job, loss, being out of a job, being unemployed, but also spiritual lack, maybe avoiding dealing with the spiritual side of life, and that has created its own set of problems. Pisces is often talked about as the most spiritual sign. I believe it. But even with that kind of a reputation, Pisces sometimes is the kind of person that will play a role because, you're very versatile and chameleon, like shapeshifter, can go into this other, you can pretend to be something other than you are, in other words, in order to hide that sensitive side that you have, that very much like the Page of Cups type of an energy. And because you may have been hurt in your life, you may kind of adopt this, hard exterior, and even be anti-spiritual, not even want to deal with it because you are so naturally psychic. So this could be kind of like just keeping that material side of life going and neglecting the spiritual for whatever reason. Why did that happen? Well, I'm thinking that some of you may have felt that you had to do that in order to fit in with your environment. So maybe either the person that you're with didn't approve, or where you work, everyone is very much like a worldly type of a person. And this is like the influence that was affecting you at that time. The Seven of Cups. This is like, I think, associated with Neptune. So there is this Piscean influence with this, and obviously these are cups, so it's a water energy. I think that some of you may be dealing with somebody who has an addiction, because this can indicate that. There's an element of confusion, but this is an outside influence. So there may be somebody who's drinking heavily, who is maybe even has a Pisces signature themselves in their chart, and so they're exhibiting certain behaviors associated with it. They're, maybe they're being indecisive, and when I get the Judgment card, a lot of times I will think of people who are coming out of some kind of a marital situation where they have left their spouse, but in a work environment. I think for some of you this is definitely along the lines of career, because with the Five of Pentacles, it may have been a situation where you didn't value yourself enough, and that led to problems on the job. And valuing yourself means that you allowed yourself to be taken advantage of at work, maybe disrespected in some way. And so either you just finally had enough and you had to quit, or you still were let go. And you may have been like, why did this happen? And I did everything for them. I had an experience like this myself. I didn't get fired. I quit, but I quit under duress. And I felt like I had done everything. I had bent over backwards. And then I realized that that was the problem. I was too available. And the premise was faulty. I thought that I had to do that in order to keep my job. And that was in my mind. And there were other people who would not fill in the way I would, and they would get treated much better. And it didn't make any sense to me because I felt like I was really trying to help the business more than other people. And that's just more of the law of attraction. When you don't value yourself, and you're trying to please other people, that tends to backfire. You may have your heart in the right place, but unfortunately, these types of people are, they're not going to appreciate you. If they decide that they don't like you, they're not going to like you, no matter what you do. And other people, they may screw them over and they will still respect them, because that's just how it works. It's kind of crazy, isn't it? But in any case, that the influence from the outer, now this could also be in that workplace where they're not being direct with you. You think that you may not have gotten fired, but you may have had some kind of demotion or moving to a different place, which feels like a demotion. And there may be a lot of things that, it's not that you may not know what's going on fully, but there may be confusion. There may be disarray where you're working also. And you may decide, if you're still employed there, you may decide that you can't take it anymore, because you are going through a transition. The Judgment card shows that. So it all depends on your specific situation, because obviously this is a general reading. The higher message is the Strength card, which is saying to me that I don't like to say that these things are tests, but in a way they could be. But it could be a test that your higher self sets you up on. It's not like God is constantly testing you, and if you fail the test, you're in trouble. It's your higher self may be allowing you to experience different things so that you can gain this inner fortitude. Because that's what it is. It's not about the outer world conforming to your desires. It's about your resilience in the face of things not necessarily going your way all the time. And, Pisces is a sign that sometimes, in the lower expression can be learned helplessness, especially if they grew up with a very challenging childhood. They can, feel like the world is against them, and something in some interaction that you've had, either in a relationship or on the job, has made you feel that you are more self-empowered for some reason. Like you met the challenge with a lot of guts. And that you should be proud of that. That you didn't cave, you didn't, maybe this was the one time you stood your ground and you came out the victor for some reason. What looks like to be coming in for you is a really great card. The Three of Pentacles. For those of you who have decided to just start your own business, or maybe you always had something going on, it looks like you're going to be continuing this. You may be collaborating with others, but you're trying to build something very solid. And it's already a success. The number 3 is a number of creativity, but also of abundance, and also of collaboration with others. For some people who are in romantic relationships, this 3 of Pentacles is a card of someone who is an earth sign, who is, coming into your life. It looks to me like the catalyst will be something. Could be that full moon again, because this is, some sort of revelation, an event. This is an outside situation coming in. Someone could drop a bombshell on you that really makes you aware. You see, it's on this column, and the Seven of Cups is a card of confusion. So by the time the month is over, you may have a sense of clarity about something that was confusing earlier, and it may come in the form of an abrupt situation or revelation that you weren't expecting. I do like look at full moons for that because of the nature of what full moons represent. And the 7th house is where it's falling on your chart. But for some of you, I don't know the exact degree of the full moon. It's possible that it could be in your 6th house. And so if that's the case, that would be your work sector. So that could be another reason why it could be affecting you for your work. And that could be causing you to end your association with those people, or not be kept in the dark as much about something that maybe they were telling you half-truths so that you would be easier to manage if you don't know everything, if you're kind of like kept in the dark. And so something outside of the situation, either somebody calls you and tells you something that, was supposed to be a secret, or maybe just it gets revealed in some, unusual way. But because Judgment card is the theme, it's a karmic situation. So it's meant to be, maybe it's a long time coming. And I think, since it's in the upright position, you may be on the good side of that judgment, and you'll get your, the just desserts is what I'm thinking this has to be. So you will be vindicated if somebody did something. And the end result is the 6 of Cups. So that card of the twin flame situation. In relationships, the 3 of Pentacles, again, it could be somebody that's either a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, or has that signature. And that could be something that, I've been interpreting this Tower card as possibly love at first sight. Like, some people say they set eyes on somebody and it just was like a bolt of lightning from the blue, and it was their soulmate. And they may have been searching, they could be in their 30s or 40s, and they've been searching. Maybe that there was somebody out there for you that, I don't know, that you feel like you're destined to meet. And everyone that you have met so far is not that person. And then all of a sudden you lay eyes on it, this one person, and you're like, okay, that's it. I know this is the person. For business situations, this could simply mean that you feel like you're in a place where you're doing what you're meant to be doing. Maybe before you were just kind of going through the motions, and now you feel very committed to whatever it is that you're doing. So that would be really wonderful for you, Pisces. I hope you enjoyed this. If you'd like a private reading, please click on the link below. I have love readings and career readings and things like that, life path. Otherwise, have a great March. Bye.